Now today I'm looking at a Bluetooth module. Let's just pull that out of there and have a look at this. So this is a slightly out of focus Bluetooth module. It's, I think, called, well, it's got a stupid plastic sleeve on, so let's pull that off for a start. Don't even know why it's got that on. So this is an HC-06 module, and the HC-06 is very, very cheap. I think that you can get these for a couple of quid off eBay. And it's a strange looking little thing actually. This one's called the ZS-040. They go by loads of different names. There's loads of different types of them, but they're all essentially the same thing. They've got some kind of green daughter board that's fixed onto another blue board. I wonder if the blue board is actually the ZS-040 and the daughter board is the HC-06. I have no clue. There's also an HC-05. The HC-05's got 6 pins as opposed to these 4 pins, and it's got a little switch here, a little button that looks like an Arduino reset button or something like that. And as I say, these things are dirt cheap, which is why I've got one. Maybe even 2 somewhere, I don't know. And I was hoping that I could use this to connect. Let me just check I've got that in the right place. Yep. I was hoping that I could use this to connect a Bluetooth keyboard to my Arduino. So my plan was get a Bluetooth keyboard, such as this one, stick that next to my Arduino, pair the Bluetooth keyboard with the Bluetooth module, type on the keyboard, and whatever I typed on the keyboard would go through to the Arduino, and the Arduino would be able to react to it. So I could control some project on an Arduino by pressing keys on the keyboard. So maybe I'll press 1 and the light on the Arduino would flash once, press 2 and the light on the Arduino would flash twice. Well, how naive I was, because I've got hold of a module that can't possibly do that. And it can't possibly do that on 2 fronts. So firstly, I've now subsequently discovered that Bluetooth modules, some are masters and some are slaves, and some can be masters and slaves. This one, the HC-06, is a slave only. So that means things can pair to it, but it can't pair to things. So intelligent things such as a phone can pair themselves to this, but this can't actually pair itself to a keyboard, so that's pretty bad. Secondly, there are lots of different Bluetooth protocols, such as serial protocol and human interface device or human interaction device or whatever it is. Is it HID? Yeah, HID mode and serial mode and various other music, MP3 mode or something like that. This only supports the serial mode, so it can communicate serially, but it can't communicate in keyboard mode, which is HID mode. So that means it basically can't do the job, which is slightly unfortunate. Anyway, this is what I've done. I've got this Arduino Nano. This is a crummy, cheap 168 Arduino Nano, which I bought by accident and really wish I hadn't bought, because a 168 to 16 means it's only got 16K of memory, not 32, as in the normal cheapo Arduino Nanos are 32.8s, whereas this is this is like half that. So that's a bit rubbish. So I wasn't really sure what to do with it, but I've been using it in little projects like this. I've got that connected to the Bluetooth module via this chip here, or this little contrivance here, which is a set of 4 5-volt to 3-volt converters. It converts in both directions. 3 volts in one side comes out as 5 volts on the other side. Let me see, which side is that? 5 volts is on 5. What way round have I got that? I've got that the wrong way round. I'm surprised that's working at all. I've got that completely. Isn't that funny? I probably don't need that then, do I? Because what I've done is hold on a second. Have I really converted that the wrong way around? So the idea was 5 volt signals come out of the Arduino, get converted from 5 volts to 3 volts to talk to the 3.3 volt Bluetooth module, and on the way back they come out as 3 volts and they get converted to 5 volts. But I've actually connected, let me triple check this. Yes, I've connected it up completely the wrong way around. How utterly bizarre. That's fascinating. The reason that's fascinating is because it still works. Let me just fix that. Well, in fact, let's do it together. So the signals coming out of here are the 5 volt signals. So we're going to want to turn that around. Ooh, how am I going to get that out of there? Let's do it with the power on. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? So we'll take that little fellow out of there. He doesn't want to come out, does he? Maybe we should do it with the power off. And this tiny little thing has got, what has it got on it? 8 legs, is it? 1, 2, 3, 12 legs. And let's see if we can get that in view on the camera here. So you have a high voltage along the top, low voltage along the bottom. It's got a ground for the high voltage and low voltage, and you put in 3.3 volts there, 5 volts there, and then any signal you put in that's 3.3 volts on one side comes out as a 5 volt signal on the other side. But I'd wired it up wrong. So if I now turn it around, put it back in, so I've now got ground. Ooh, I better change ground and 5 volts over, or I'll be in a spot of bother, won't I? So I've grounded that side of it. I have not grounded this side. I've grounded that side of it. Are we getting anywhere? We've gone completely out of focus, haven't we? Why do computers do that? Cameras do that. Perfect. We have got 3.3 volts from the Arduino, which I will now slap into the 3.3 volt. Why did I do it with 2 wires? I don't know. 3.3 volts to 3.3 volts. 5 volts. Well, that's just hanging around, so we can get that from anywhere. We can get that from that rail there. So let's check this then. So we got the transmit and receive pins on the Bluetooth module. They come in at 3.3 volts. This is now the low voltage side. They flow through here to 5 volt side, where they go into the Arduino. So you have the transmit on the Bluetooth connected to the receive on the Arduino, and the receive on the Bluetooth connected to the transmit on the Arduino. And they're not the normal transmit and receive, the serial ones for talking to the computer. They are just 2 arbitrary pins that I've used in software serial to communicate to the Bluetooth module. So we talk to Bluetooth over software serial. Let's plug that back in and see if... How did that work? Anyway, I'll show you what you can do with this thing. So, because we're connected up to an Arduino, we can start... we can start the Arduino IDE, and then we can use the serial monitor that comes as part of the Arduino IDE. And what you do is you talk via these serial pins here to this Bluetooth module, and you talk in AT command language. And I don't really understand about AT command language, but I found that a lot of things that are like modems and just chips that need a very simple way of talking to them. Quite often do use this perplexing AT command language. So I've got this program running, which I found on the internet. It's just a very simple program. So let's take a look at the software that's running on the Arduino. It's a very simple thing. It sets up two serial connections, one to the computer, so you can see what's going on the screen, and one to the chip, the Bluetooth chip, which I call an HC-06 module, but the person who wrote this software called an FC-114. Let's change that because that's right confusing, isn't it? I don't know what that is. So it's got two serial connections going on, one to the computer, one to the Bluetooth module. And all that happens is, whatever you type on the computer goes to the module, whatever comes from the module goes back to the screen on the computer. So if we run it, we are here, and it works in a very strange way. It seems to need no new line and carriage return turned on at all. And if you type AT, and I think it has to be in capitals, it says AT OK with not even any spaces. Let's just try lowercase. AT, it hates that. It's so funny. So you can type AT OK, and there are a list of commands which I will now try and find. Yep, here we go. Here's a list of commands. So you can type in these commands, for example, AT plus version, and you'll find out the version number. Let's check what my version number is. AT plus version. Version OK, lin vor version 1.8, whatever that means. But it obviously does mean something, because on this website I'm using here, which is called MCU on eclipse.com, he had exactly the same weird version number. And you can set up a name, AT plus name, XYZ. That sets up the name. You know, when you're looking for a Bluetooth, you're trying to connect to something on Bluetooth, it shows you a list of the names. So that sets that name. I set mine to HC-06, I think. Let's just try that again. AT plus name, HC-06. Set name. Okay, set name. It's a bit confusing, this no spaces or new lines business, isn't it? You can set the pin number. So when you're connecting to something, this is quite an old Bluetooth protocol that's running, the thing where you try to connect something and it asks you to type in a 4-digit pin. So you can set the pin. I've set mine to 1234, as I think everybody should do. And you can set some kind of baud rates there as well. I'm not really too bothered about baud rates at this very moment in time. So then, once you've got that far, you can connect your you can connect via a phone or anything that's clever enough to talk Bluetooth. You can pair it with the Bluetooth module, and then if you use some kind of program like Serial, yep, exactly. So here it is, Serial Bluetooth Terminal. I installed this Serial Bluetooth Terminal onto my phone. And you get a terminal on the screen, and whatever you type, once you've paired your phone, which you do through the normal Bluetooth pairing process, so you can pair your phone with this HC-06, which actually I'll do now, although it's going to be tricky to do because I'm using my phone to video. Let's just hold on a second. Okay, so now what I did was I went onto my phone, I went to the Bluetooth section, I looked for HC-06, and I've paired with the HC-06 device, and that is why now this light on the HC-06 device is stable, and it's come out of pair AT mode or whatever it starts up in. And I then started this serial terminal program on my phone, and I typed in the words hello from my phone, and hello from my phone appears on the basically it goes from my phone over Bluetooth to the Bluetooth module, the Bluetooth module via my ridiculous and possibly not even necessary 3 volt to 5 volt converter. In fact, that must not be necessary because I had it wired, had it wired up backwards and it still worked. That can't be right, can it? Goes into the Arduino converts it to US serial over USB, sends it over USB, and it appears on the screen here. And if I'm on the screen and I type in hello from the computer and send that, that will appear on my phone, which obviously you can't see because I'm using my phone to video this thing. I didn't think that out too well, did I? So, in one way, a success, yes, brilliant. I've paired my phone with a very cheap £2 Bluetooth module, but useless in terms of what I actually want to do, which is pair this Bluetooth keyboard with that module. It can't do it because it would need to be a master, not a slave, to talk to the keyboard and say, well, it would need to scan for keyboards and do some kind of, it would have to pair, how would you do that? It would have to ask for a pin number, and you'd have to type the pin number on the keyboard. So that's one failing. And secondly, even then, keyboards speak HID language, not serial language. So it wouldn't be able to do anything with it anyway, because it's just not the right protocol. So I'm now in search of a better Bluetooth module that can enable me to do what I want to do. Or I might have to go back to old school and just plug a wired keyboard into my Arduino if I want to control my Arduino from a keyboard, which is not really what I wanted to do.